know, weather is crazy here in Ohio, and there's a lot of people that have been asking about generators, what they do, how they work. But here to explain is Anthony Schuh from Quality Mechanical Services. Welcome, Anthony.
Hi.
All right, so generators. I've been giving a lot of questions about this, you know. So how do they actually work, and why are they important?
So they're important. So like if you go and you lose power, it'll kick on. We sell Generac generators, and they usually kick on within 30 seconds. It runs on gas, so there's a transfer switch that you go and you install as well, so it doesn't backfeed the electric company. So it just runs strictly just your house.
Okay.
They come in multiple sizes. We usually specialize in the whole house. We can do select circuits as well, to where you can only pick items in your house that you want running if the power goes out. But majority of the time, owners usually purchase the whole house generator.
Yeah, I think I would do the whole house if I had a choice, because, you know, you get those power outages here in Ohio. You know, there's also, I keep thinking about, you know, the tornado warnings that we've had just not too long ago, you know, so if your power does go out, you know, I can tell you I have one, so as the neighbors, as there was a blackout in the neighborhood.
You're the only one with lights.
I didn't even know. I didn't even know it was happening, you know? But, you know, you think about the food in the refrigerator and the air conditioning when it's really hot, you know, or the heat when it's really cold, you know? So for me, it was a beneficial, you know, product to have, but you know, not everybody's maybe looking or not knowing about these generators. How does it work to install something like that? Like, is it like a week process? Is it quick?
No, we try to be in and out in a day. I'm not saying that we wouldn't bleed in over to a second day. It just depends on what we have to do. Like I said, it runs on gas, so if like a gas meter's on one side of the house and the generator is sitting on the other side of the house, or vice versa with the electric meter, I mean, it just takes the time of running the wire and the gas line to it. So if it's a little bit more intrinsic install, it might take 2 days, but majority of the time we try not to inconvenience people too much and try to get in and out in a day.
Very nice. So for those that may be thinking about a generator, just to let's say go to a certain section of their house, how does that work?
So with that, I'm thinking you're saying is like where you choose to set it, right?
I guess so. Or, you know, you said there's a full house generator and like a partial, or?
Yeah, so it's a select circuit generator is what we call it, with a select circuit transfer switch, and we usually do the heavy hitters, like you said, AC. People always want that. They always hook a fridge up, deep freezers and stuff like that. One that we always laugh about, because everybody always forgets when you ask them what you want on that select circuit, is the garage door opener.
Oh my, yes.
So somebody comes home, they click it, it's not doing anything, but their lights are on. So if you do a whole house generator, though, you can just run everything. I always try to tell people, if you get a whole house, I want to sell it to you so you can have a party and everything's running and nothing goes bad. So that's the way I kind of go with it. As far as picking the generator spot, we try to keep them away from bedrooms and windows, so when it's running you don't hear that, and we don't want it to shoot carbon monoxide into a house. So we always try to pick on sides that do not have windows and stuff like that.
Right. When you said it, when it's running, it does like a test run, right?
Yeah,
like once a week or so?
Yes. So I set mine up. You can go weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly. I always set mine up for weekly, because I always tell people, I use the analogy of a car. You don't want a car sitting there for a month and then you're hoping it's going to start, you know. So I like to keep everything running once a week. The generator runs at half capacity for about 10 minutes, and it just keeps it running, keeps it energized, keeps it lubed up with the oil and everything like that, because it's an engine. So, and people are sometimes questioning like how loud it is. I always kind of tell people it's just no louder than a lawnmower.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true. You mentioned it also runs on gas. Is this something that, you know, really increases your gas bill, or not so much?
It does, yes. It increases it, but to tell you how much, I couldn't determine that, because it just depends on how much of a load it's under. And when I say load, it means how much are you running? Are you running the electric stove? Are you running your AC? Are you running everything at once? Because so if you're running a lot more in your house, it's going to use more fuel. If you're not using as much in your house, then it's going to use less fuel. So you'll see an increase in your gas bill, whether it's natural gas or propane, but I can't answer that entirely.
Right, exactly. Well, Anthony, I want to thank you for coming on today, kind of answering those simple questions that people have been asking about generators, what they are, what they do, and how important are they? And for me, it's very important. So thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
All right, well, don't go away because we have more when we return.